Man, how are you feeling at this moment?
Great, great.
Here we are in the third or maybe fourth inning of the first game, and in between the games, certain things are going to happen to you. What are they?
Shaving my head over a bet.
And the bet was?
That during the New York Penn League All-Star game, that one of our players, that's right, won MVP. I said that George would shave his head. They did. George has to shave his head because I opened my big mouth and made the bet. I'm a good sport, so off it goes.
So this is something to look forward to between innings.
That's right.
And your wife knows about this?
She knows about it.
And her reaction?
She's going to miss it, but at least I got my age and it's going to grow back.
So George, here you are on the eve of something quite extraordinary in your life.
Hit the all-time low in promotional events here at Dietrich Park for me to shave my head.
And this is going to happen soon.
Too soon.
Hey, I'm looking at the scoreboard. Let's check it out right now. It looks like this is bottom of the fifth of a 7-inning game. What do you think about George doing his hair?
Oh, good.
Let's see.
It's so gonna be a big
Yeah, that looks good. Did your wife know about this?
Yes, she does.
Is she here tonight?
She will be here soon.
He's lying. He's lying. She doesn't know.
She doesn't know this is a secret? What do you think she'll think?
The old guy is finally going bald.
Okay.
Tammy.
So you're the ones that are going to make this happen here, huh?
Yes,
This
sir.
is very important stuff right now. You'll see this on TV later on.
We're gonna do it.
We're going to do it to you.
Oh, yes.
And,
Also, this is my mother-in-law.
It's going to give me great pleasure to do this.
Oh, terrific. Does your daughter know this is happening tonight?
Oh, yes. She's over there videoing her own.
What do you think about what?
I'm not happy about it. Prior to last week's
Kind of opened his mouth a little bit too much, right?
Jammers General Manager Matt Dreyer exclaimed that if any Jammer won the MVP award, that our Director of Sales and Marketing, George Sisson, would shave his head on the field. After Gaby Sanchez's game-winning 2-run single paced the National League All-Stars to victory, earning Gaby MVP honors, Matt and George agreed to shave their heads on the field in between tonight's ball games. At the completion of Game 1, there will be a 30-minute break. Matt and George will both get their heads shaved on the field, and then Game 2 will start.
That's all about minor league baseball right there.
How come you haven't convinced?
If your Channel 19 ratings go way up because of this.
Yeah, I want to know the only when the day is done. Let's take a look here. Matt will be bald. George will be more bald. And Ben will not. What's going on here? You know, talk about teamwork. What is going on here? Ben, really, you ought to at least get the beard chair. Let's go some halfway, you know? Yeah, no?
I think Ben should get a shave and just leave the whole beard.
Hey, Auburn 14 and Jamestown 1. On behalf of the Jammers players, coaches, and staff, we thank you for attending.
I would say this. I'm not even gonna. I can't even. I'll never forget coming down through and seeing you lining me up and go.
So this is the guy that made this all possible.
This is the reason.
guy that made it possible.
How do you feel about this? You know, you're changing his life.
I feel bad because he may not go back. You know, he doesn't have that much up there.
Well,
No power.
Just like that.
Ben, is it tight?
actually, George, you don't look too bad. Right, you know?
Better than comb back, George.
One thing I noticed with my job is those kids entered the middle grade. That was the tough. They really struggled adjusting so quickly.
Yeah, maybe they're about 11, 12.
I want Gaby to get right around these guys.
Oh, that's perfect. To Newsom here one time. What's that story?
Well, the thing started with him saying, you know what, if you guys win the if any of you guys win the MVP for the All-Star game, I'll shave my head. And he's thinking, you know, we're only going to get a couple at-bats, which is right. We only got a couple at-bats, so it's hard to win something like that when you only have a couple at-bats. And turned out that, hey, it wasn't a good idea for him because we had a lot of guys on the team, and, you know, each one of them could have easily been the MVP. And, you know, luckily for that, I won, and he had to shave his head.
Tell us about the game and the big hit you had.
Well, the game started off not so good. You know, my first two at-bats, you know, didn't do so well, and then got the opportunity. I didn't even know I was actually going to bat, to tell you the truth. I was, you know, done with the game. It was my 5th inning playing. I ran out to the bullpen. I was warming up the pitcher. All of a sudden, I go look, and we have bases loaded, and, gee, I'm on deck. So I had to sprint out from the bullpen, go all the way, put my stuff on, get a couple of swings, and, you know, the guy's coming back. He had just finished striking out, and he tells me, hey, the guy's throwing kind of hard. So I was revved up saying, hey, I know he's going to try to throw one of these balls by me. So got up there, got into a hitting count that I can hit, and the guy served me up a fastball, and I was able to take advantage of it and put it up the middle and score 2 runs.
And that was the game.
Well, that wasn't the game. It got a little shaky there at the end, and, you know, luckily we still pulled it off, and at least we showed that our side of the our side had, you know, good players and a good team, and we were able to win.
When you were named the MVP, did you specifically look for George?
Actually, when I was named the MVP, all I can see, because my parents went out there to see us, so basically all I was able to try to look for was my mom and dad, and, you know, see the smile on their face, which definitely put a smile on my face. Sure. And seeing George was definitely a plus. And, you know, having the kids there, you know, there was a bunch of kids, and signing autographs for them. And, you know, for me, that was even better than anything, you know, going with the kids and having them call your name, signing autographs for them, and, you know, standing out there. Me and Chris Volsted were out there for an hour, a good hour, just signing autographs. And
think about George Sisson when he was looking very bald on that video.
That was a sight. That was a sight, let me tell you. I mean, I didn't get to know George that well before that happened, but the All-Star game, I got to know him really well, and it cracked me up. Every time I saw him, we still make fun of him today. It still hasn't grown back. I mean, we give him stuff about it all the time. It was great.
Did you know the bet was on during the All-Star game? Did somebody mention
Yeah. We had talked about it before, and I heard Gabby mention it in the locker room, but I mean, at first I didn't think anything of it. I was like, you know, what are the chances? And then, you know, Gabby comes up, and me and the other 3 guys were thinking, or the other 2 guys actually, you know, we were just like, oh man, if he gets it here, he could be the MVP. You know, and then it happened, and we were going crazy. We were looking up at George, and he's like, oh, I can't believe that just happened. That was great. And then that video, I had no idea about that video until tonight.
Well, I knew it was happening, so it's one of those dumb things where I brought my camcorder.
Yeah, that was great.
Let's just have fun with George. Clearly his wife wanted to buy it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So did Gabby, because Gabby's part of that show.
That's right, yeah, he was bidding out a little bit.
Yeah.
He was in there.
So you're the #1 draft pick of the Florida Marlins. Did you kind of get a sense that was going to happen? I mean, did the agents, were they talking to the Marlins?
Yeah, a little bit. We were talking to a couple of the teams, so I had a pretty good idea. I was going to go anywhere 13th to 17th, the first one being the Orioles, the last one being the Yankees. But we had a pretty good feeling on the Marlins because we had gotten a good relationship with them. My area scout, John Martin, we became really good friends. My agent, Bill Rose, he knows the front office really well, and we were getting calls. You know, we had an idea, but we were just kind of waiting to see what would happen. There's a funny story about that actually, because my agent knew that they had settled before the draft, but didn't let me know. So I was kind of sweating during the draft, and he knew the whole time what was gonna happen. So it was funny.
Did they give you a call? I mean, was it just like football draft, or they?
Yeah. The first call I got were my agents, Bill Rose, Brian Doe, their DRM group. They called me first. Then it was John Martin, the area scout, and then maybe about an hour later, Jim Fleming called, and he just, you know, I wanted to call later on just so everything died down a little bit, and just wanted to say welcome to the team. So that was good. Jim Fleming was the man I talked to.
Where are you from?
From Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. It's about 5 minutes from the spring training facility, so I'm hometown Florida Marlins kid. You know, he went to spring training games, went to the Hammerheads games growing up. I went to with my dad maybe 3 or 4 nights a week when I was 10, 11 to those Hammerheads games when that stadium opened up. So I've always been a Marlins fan. So it's good, you know, being picked by them, hometown kid.
Yeah.
Hopefully that can help him out, you know, drawing a crowd. Yeah. That'd be nice if I could do that. But yeah, right Palm Beach Gardens area. It's about 10, 15 minutes north of West Palm Beach.
So you walk into the spring training camp for the first time this year.
Yeah.
What's your impression, day one, when you walk into the locker room and you see some of the players who you had seen on TV and probably on the field, but never had a chance to be up close?
I don't know what's going to go through my mind. I've heard, you know, stories about how it's crazy. The locker room's full, all the fields are full. There's people running around everywhere. It's just, you know, kind of controlled madness, I guess. So I don't know what's going to go through my mind. I've been working out up at the stadium with the strength coach, and I've met a couple of the major league guys. But, I mean, seeing all of them there at one time, I don't know. I'm going to feel like a kid again. You know, hey, let me have your autograph. Yeah. That kind of thing. It's going to be great.
You went to your first time. You went to the rookie league first, didn't you?
Right. Yeah, the Gulf Coast League. And
then came up here and spent most of the season here, and you know, you just had a wonderful season for us. What was your impressions of? Well, let me ask a crazy question. This was also Mike Mordecai's first year as a manager.
Yep.
And so he was learning the ropes as you were kind of learning the ropes. What was your impression of Mike?
He's a funny guy. You know, the first time I met him, he asked me, when did you pitch last? I said, oh, I pitched yesterday with the Gulf Coast League. He said, okay, so you ready to go tonight then? We might need you. I looked up at him. Are you serious? You know, because he had a serious look on his face. He's that kind of guy where he jokes around, but you don't know it. Yeah. So, you know, I tried to answer him, and he was like, oh, I'm just kidding you, you know. So I knew right then he was going to be kind of laid back. But I still knew it was going to be serious baseball because, you know, it's Mike Mordecai. He's been in the big leagues for however many years, been playing baseball, you know. So I knew it was a relaxed, but it was also, you know, very structured, and I thought he knew what he was doing as a coach. He seemed to handle it pretty well. You know, I heard at the end, you know, he might have wanted a little bit better talent, but what can you expect in the, you know, first-year players here? Right.
What was your impression of your first year here in Jamestown? As far as the community,
Oh, it was fun. I mean, this is the first time I played, you know, really under the lights with a fan base. Mm-hmm. You know, I played under the lights in high school, but we had, you know, 50 kids there, you know, schoolmates. But here we had, you know, it was a professional baseball game. You had under the lights with the fan base, you know, people asking for autographs, and that was crazy. The first time going through that, you know, that was great. I had a lot of fun, and Jamestown's a good community. It's a good first place to start, I think, because it's not too big. You know, you get to meet some of the like the season ticket holders and the advisory board and stuff like that, and you know, they appreciate you playing here, and you know, they really look up to you, and it's not too big where you become overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So it's a good fit.
Were there any surprises? You know, that whatever expectations you may have had coming in here, all of a sudden, surprises, good or bad, but not what you expected.
Well, yeah, actually, you know, they dropped me off here. I got picked up at the airport, and you know, we played one game that night, and they told me, okay, you're going to be at the hotel for 2 or 3 nights, and you got to find a place to live by then. You know, I'm thinking, I've lived in my house with my parents my whole life. You know, I'm 18 years old. I don't know how the heck I'm supposed to find a house to live in. You're just kind of like throwing me out there, you know, go find somewhere to live. So luckily I had some of the teammates, you know, hey, you can come live with us. But I mean, if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done. Right. So that was a surprise to me, just kind of throwing me out there. I guess that's what you got to do, though. I mean, you can't expect them to find housing for everybody, or you know, have down to that as exact science. So, right. I mean, it's understandable. I'm not complaining. I'm not, but it was just interesting.
In high school, obviously, you drew a lot of attention from a lot of people. How does the signing up of an agent work? How did is the Rose Group?
Yeah, DRM Group, they're called.
How did they get in touch with you? And was there more than one agent that was done it for you? And
well, let's see. I met the DRM Group end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year, and they were actually the first ones I talked to. And one of my coaches when I was growing up is good friends with the Doyle brothers, so that's how we got connected with them. My coach said, hey, you might want to go take a look at this kid. So we knew that since they had been friends with my coach, we knew they were going to be good guys. We knew they were quality Christians, and you know, they were good, solid guys. And that's what we had wanted. So and they weren't asking anything up front, just a handshake. So we took up the offer right then. You know, I was end of my sophomore year, so I was still a young kid. But it was just a handshake, an agreement that they do with us, and you're an advisor until you sign a professional contract. So that's how I got involved with that. And we had a couple guys call, but you know, we just said, hey, you know, we're with somebody already. We're very happy, and if anything happens, then I guess we'll let you know. But that's how we got connected with them. And been good to us ever since.
And this year, you actually get a chance to see your baseball card. I mean, that's the ultimate calling card for somebody, right?
First year player card with Topps.
Yeah.
It was great. I got a little tired of signing those autograph sets. You know, I think I had 6,000 cards and broke it down into 3 sessions of 2,000, so my hand got a little tired. But I mean, I just pushed that out of my mind. I was having a blast doing it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I mean, seeing my own baseball card and knowing that, you know, all the greats had their own baseball card and now I'm with them with my own. It's unbelievable.
Well, I'm sure it'll be the first of many.
Hopefully. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. As you look at, you know, your pitching career, do you get a sense, or they told you anything about whether or not they're in the next 2, 3, 4 years they'd like you to continue to be a starter, potentially a reliever? You know, sort of what they, you know, Tankersley is now kind of out of the bullpen.
Right.
No,
they just kind of, you know, just say go out and do what you do, and you know, I guess we'll watch you and make our decisions as we think best. But they just say go out and don't worry about that, because if you're thinking about that, you might struggle on the field. Then who knows what's going to happen. So they just said, you know, do your thing, and you're a starter, so go out and start. If we think you need to be in the pen, we'll let you know. But just go ahead and pitch. You know, just be who you are, and be what got you here, just a pitcher.
Were you on pitch count?
Yep. I mean, out of the Gulf Coast League, I was throwing first couple weeks 45, 50 pitches, you know, real strict. Then I came up here, I was about 65, 75, maybe 80 at the most. So that's not, I mean, I'd thrown a little bit more than that in high school, but not a whole lot. So, I mean, that's understandable. You know, they want to make sure you don't get hurt your first year.
Yeah. Is there a role model for you? Is there somebody say, gee, that kind of pitcher is the guy I'd like to be, or I'm learning from him? And
well, growing up, I used to watch Greg Maddux all the time. You know, he's one of the best. You know, puts the ball where he wants it, when he wants to. I mean, he just gets in the mind of all the hitters. He's one of the smartest pitchers in the game. I used to watch him growing up. I was a huge Braves fan. Their whole pitching staff just amazed me. Sure. Greg Maddux, you know, I try and think I have a two-seamer like his, but it's nowhere near that. But I think I learned a lot from him just watching him on TV. A lot of my motions and what, you know, what I'm thinking on the mound I get from him, I think.
What's your out pitch?
It's a good question. I mean, I throw a lot of two-seam fastballs for ground balls, so I get quick outs. I like to keep my pitch count low. But if I have, you know, 2 strikes on a guy and I want to strike him out, then I'll throw a curveball. Maybe a curveball in the dirt or something like that, get him to chase it.
Guys on the team this year who impressed you? I mean, without Gabby, you know, Gabby certainly, just because he's here with you. But was there any particular guys that, because obviously you didn't know any of them.
No, I didn't know.
By the end of the season, you went home and told your dad, says, you know, this guy or that guy is probably a prospect.
I like Jeff Van Houten. I mean, he's an all-around good hitter. You know, driving the ball the other way. He's got good power down. You know, when he pulls the ball, and he had a good arm in the outfield. Ran balls down like crazy. I mean, he helped me out a couple times in the outfield. So Van Houten impressed me a little bit, and then Chris Harvey as well. I mean, looking at him, I wouldn't think he had, you know, the home run potential that he does, but I mean, he destroyed the ball in college, and then he came up here and had a bunch of home runs as well, and just doubles all over the place. So he's another one. And well, another one, Brett Hayes, actually. Yeah. My catcher, he's real soft at the plate. You know, soft hands, received the ball very well. Good pitch calling as well.
What do you mean by soft hands?
Well, it's, you know, some of the guys, when they receive the ball, you know, you can just tell they're stiff. They, you know, carry the ball out of the zone sometimes, or just the way they receive it kind of makes the umpire think one way or another. But with him, he just kind of sits there and just receives it like that. You know, brings it into his chest, and, you know, helped me out with a couple calls.
Gabby, this is the first year he ever caught.
Yeah. I don't know that he ever caught me in a game.
Did he?
I know he caught a bullpen of mine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about in a game though.
Yeah.
And a bullpen's different from a game. Just, you know, the bullpen you're just working on your delivery. The game's totally different with pitch calling and everything. But I know I threw to him once in the pen.
This is all brand new for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's surprising to me too. He's played infield all his life, and they drafted him as a catcher.
Right.
And I've never seen that before, but he just does what they tell him to. So he's taking it well. He's a good catcher too. I mean, he held his own behind the plate.
When the scouts come up, do you know they're in the stands? I mean.
Yeah, it was a pitcher. They all line up behind the plate, so I can see them right there. Maybe if I was a hitter, they'd sit in the stands. I wouldn't really notice them, but as a pitcher, they're all behind with their radar guns.
Yeah.
I didn't really get nervous at all. I thought of it as, okay, they're here to see me, pump me up. Okay, I'm gonna have one of my best games here. Try and psych myself out that they're here to see me. I need to have a good showing. Make them realize that they came here for a good reason, and they deserve to come and watch. They pump me up, make me do better.
In your short career in high school and now professional ball, what's your highlight?
Being the New York Penn League All-Star, actually.
Yeah.
When I came up here, I think I had 4 starts, and they named me to an All-Star game. That's incredible. There's definitely some guys probably that deserved it more than me who had been here the whole year, and they chose me for some reason. But that's an honor. I can't believe that.
Did you pitch in the game?
Yeah, I pitched 1 inning. It was the 7th inning, I think.
Yeah.
I think I faced 4 hitters. One guy got on, hit/error. Could have gone either way, but yeah, I pitched my 1 inning, warmed up in the bullpen. It was great though. The 10,000 fans going crazy. That was a lot of fun.
And then winning it and having George.
And then yeah, that whole game led to the George and Matt shaving their heads. It's even better.
I forgot when I did the video. I went to the scoreboard and that, of course, you saw.
Oh yeah, 10-0. And then we ended up losing 14-1, and then the next game was 10-1.
Yeah, it was the end of the season. You could tell.
I think we ended September 6th or something.
Yeah.
And it was the first, I think, he did the video.
Right. Chris, this has been so much fun. Thank you.
No problem. It's a pleasure. Oh yeah.
Well, I hope the time will come when you come back again.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Well, good luck to you this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great. Well, thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Sisson, what do you think of him?
George Sisson's a great guy. I like what he's doing. I like that he's, real passionate about, trying to make Jamestown a great town, and, especially with the kids, going out and helping out the kids around the town. For me, that's, one of the best things that I can possibly see. You can always see him always with the kids and always messing around, and for me, that's big inspiration, at least for the kids, for them to come around and him invite guys to come down and the kids to see the guys. He does that. He makes that all possible for all the kids, and for me, that's just great for the town.
Professional baseball, and also Mike Mordecai's first year as a manager.
Yes, it was.
What was your impression of Mike, and what do you think Mike's impression was as being a manager for the first time?
For me, Mike was probably one of the best coaches that I had. It wasn't really the practicing and things like that. It was him talking about the game, talking about ways to improve, talking about the window of opportunity that we have, and the window's open right now, and the ways that we can do better for ourselves to actually get into the major league, which is everyone's dream and everyone's goal in life, for at least baseball players, is to make it to the major leagues. So what he did for all the players on the team was explain the game and explain how to get to the major leagues. He played 10 years, and he was doing it as, a backup pretty much the whole entire time, but he was up there for 10 years as a backup, which is, tremendous. Being 10 years in the major leagues as a backup is hard to do, but, he has so much knowledge of the game, and all we were trying to do the whole entire year was trying to get that knowledge out so we would know more about the game, and he definitely helped us out tremendously with that.
Was it his decision to convert you to a catcher?
No, the decision was the Marlins. When I got drafted, they drafted me as a catcher, so they wanted to see what I could do as a catcher. It was my first time ever catching. So when I got up here, I've never caught before in games, so, they worked me in slowly, got in some games. But for me, I think Mordecai liked me more at third and first, and, I like catching, I like third, I like first, it's all the Marlins. Whatever they, need and whatever they want me to do, I'm there for them. I'll be able to play third, first, catch, whatever they want me to do. I just have to just keep hitting.
Well, I think that's key. Obviously, you were the New York Penn League batting champion last year. You know, big numbers. And I can tell you that I was talking to Brian and Shannon, and he said a big surprise to him was not that you could hit. I mean, he knew you could hit, but just how well you hit and the success you had at this level. And he was, you know, you were a real highlight for him. I'll share that with you because he probably would not necessarily, but that was part of the interview I did with him earlier. But did you find that when you're catching and then hitting, is that different than playing third base and hitting?
Well, it definitely takes a toll out of your body. It does. You know, when you're catching and you're down and you're squatting the whole entire game, you know, by the last at bat, you know, your legs are a little weary. They're getting down there. They're tired, and you're going up there, and you know, the only thing you think about is, wow, my legs are really tired. But you know, I found out that the less you thought about other things, if you just got up there and you just said, you know what, it's me against the pitcher, and that's what it was. You know, I just went up there trying to battle every single time, and you know, more than others, it turned out well for me. But it does. When you're playing third base, it's, you know, a lot easier. You're just getting ready, and you may get a couple balls, but when you're catching, you know, you're catching the whole entire game. You're catching every single ball. You're taking control of basically the game. You're telling the pitcher what to throw. You're telling everything. You're blocking balls. So it does take a little bit more out of your body. But for me, since it was my first time catching, it took probably a little bit more. But the more I caught, the more I got used to it, so the easier it got. You know, so, you know, the first game, of course, it was definitely hard. But after that, it started to get easier and easier. And it probably helped me out, too, because now I started to see, you know, how to work the hitters. So when I got to hit, I was thinking, too, you know, I'm working them this way. They're going to probably try to work me this way.
Oh, interesting. When they told you were going to be a catcher, was it, and I'm sure there were certain expectations, what was the surprise that you didn't expect when you started catching?
The surprise that I didn't accept,
You know you're going to get bounced around, you know you're going to get hit, I mean, it's just the ball's bouncing, I think.
I think the most that I saw was that I was able to do it and do it fairly well. Like, I didn't really have that much trouble. You know, the pitchers liked when I caught them. You know, I had a good frame. I can catch the ball. I really didn't have many pass balls. Probably the thing was people not stealing on me, knowing that I was a first-time catcher. And, you know, people wouldn't steal second, and I was just back there surprised, saying, hey, if I know that he's a first-time catcher, I'll be trying to steal all the time. So for me, that was the biggest thing. I was always thinking, oh, these guys are going to go, these guys are going to go. And, you know, teams really never win, which was a big surprise for me. But I think the hardest thing for catching for me was definitely blocking balls, since I've never done it before. So I'd get out there, didn't have the right technique, of course, but I'll just try to block with whatever I could. You know, I see the ball on the floor, dive in front of it, do whatever it takes not to get to the backstop.
Coming out of Miami, did you have a role model?
Coming out of Miami, well, I would say probably my favorite player was Cal Ripken Jr. So I always looked up to him, and I saw the type of player that he was. You know, a hard worker, always played when he was hurt, when he wasn't. You know, he always gave it 100%, and that's what I liked. You know, I liked seeing a guy that was getting paid to play, but was doing it with love for the game. Because even when he was hurt, he said, you know what, I'm going out there for the fans. I'm going out there to show everybody that I'm still going to play even though I'm hurt. And for me, that's big. I like that, you know. So I knew that, hey, if I'm hurt, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, and they're still going out there when they're hurt. So I have no excuses. I got to go out there and play also. So for me, that was a big thing.
Have they told you where you're going to possibly end up next year?
They haven't said anything like that yet. I guess when you go to spring training, and you know how you do in spring training will show where you're going to be playing. So right now I have no idea where I'm going to be playing. Hopefully, you know, I'm moving up, which I think I am. So we'll just see. You know, for me, wherever they put me, and I'm just going to have to show wherever they play me. So I'm going to have to just go wherever I go and hit, and hopefully I can move up.
Going from metal to wood, what's that like?
Well, metal, you have a lot more spots where, you know, you can miss and still hit the ball hard. You know, wood, you hit it a little bit off the end, bat's going to break and the ball's not going to go anywhere. So for me, that's the biggest part. You know, you have a less sweet spot to hit the ball in. The adjustment with the weight also, you know, aluminum bat, you get a -3, a wooden bat, you can get a -3, -2, -1, but it's just different weight every time, because the bat can be different, either top heavy, you know, evened out, or bottom heavy. It can be different weight distribution, where aluminum bat, you know what you're getting once you get it.
Among your teammates, I mean, this is your first time to really mix with folks who, every one of them in their own team was probably the best.
Right.
And here they are mixing together for the first time in Jamestown, New York. What are the big challenges? I mean, we don't, as a spectator, we don't often see that, but as a player, what's the challenge?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is getting to know the players that you're playing with. You know, like when you're playing third and you're going to turn it over play, how does the second baseman like to get fed? Or when you're catching, how do the pitchers like to work? When you're playing with the same guys over and over again, it gets easier. It just becomes a custom, you know how the guy likes it, you know how they field the ball, you know where they're going to throw it. So for me, that's the biggest thing, you know, team unity. You know, when you play with guys in, you know, college, you're playing with the same guys for a good 3 or 4 years. So you already basically know after the first year how things are going to be done. When you come into pro ball, you can be playing with different guys every single day. So the biggest thing is just, you know, trying to get a routine, talk with them, know what they like, know what they don't like. You know, for pitchers when I was catching, know what pitches they like to go to in certain counts and what pitches they think there's the best and what pitches they think are their worst. So you kind of have to work around that and, you know, talk more than usual every single day.
5 years from now, when you're playing in the major leagues, what position would you like to be?
Whatever will help out the ball club, to tell you the truth. You know, for me, a position is a position. You know, like if they need someone at third base, I hope that I can fill third base for them. If they need someone at first, I hope that I can fill that board for them. If they need someone to catch, I hope I can do that. You know, the basic thing once you make it to the major leagues is how to make the team win and how to make the team better. You know, and if wherever players they need and whatever they need me to do, hopefully I'll be there for them.
What's your impressions of Jamestown, New York?
My impressions of Jamestown, New York, it's cold right now. Really cold. I'm coming from Miami where it's 80 degrees and I get up here and it's in the teens. That's really cold. No, but the town is great. You know, we'll go out there and you would have, you know, 600, 700 fans there and all the fans know your name and, you know, it's a real small community. So everywhere you go, people know who you are and, you know, very nice people all over town. And, you know, no one really gives you any grief when you do bad. You know, everything is always, you know, cheer up, there'll be another day tomorrow. So it's real big, especially, you know, in a town like Jamestown. You know, the Jammers are coming out trying to make Jamestown known, even though, you know, like, yes, Lucy Ball did that all by herself. But we're trying to come over here and, you know, it's nice being with the fans and talking with them, signing autographs for them. You know, it was a big part of, you know, the way that we would play. We'd go out there, you know, playing for the fans.
Well, you know, you're such a delightful guy. It's just it's fun to hang around you. You're so enthusiastic. And obviously that shows on the field that you were most valuable player. You won the batting title. The fans voted you the most valuable. I mean, you got every award possible, short of being named the mayor of the city of Jamestown. That's next. Well, it's great that you came back. I can't tell you how both you and Chris showing up, you know, added a real sense of credibility, and it was very impressive to the community that you guys took time to come back. It's way too easy once you get done with Jamestown just to go on to the next level and forget about it. But both you guys have made a special effort. Did you have to call Chris to say, are you really going to do this?
Not really. I knew that he was going to do it from the beginning. Once George called me and said, hey, you know, I want you and Chris to go, I really didn't need to call him because I knew right away that he was going to say yes. You know, Chris is one of those guys that anything he can do to help out, he'll definitely do it. And when you get an opportunity like this, it's hard. You can't say no. You know, to come back to the town that supported you the whole entire time when you were here and, you know, we're with you through the bad and the good, you know, you always have to come back and show that you were grateful for everything that they did for you.
Well, we can't wait when you come back and after you had 10 successful years in the major league, you come back and you can tell us all about it. This has been great. I really appreciate it, Gabby, your time, and look forward to seeing you later tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good.
Thanks for coming to Jamestown.
Oh,
Amy Peterson. I'm live from PNC Park. It was a beautiful Mother's Day.
Okay.
But
So Eric Reed, we're going to talk a little bit about you. How did you find yourself wearing a Marlins uniform?
Well, you know, I started out in college, you know, and did the whole college thing. I got drafted in 2002 by the Florida Marlins. And it all started from there, and then it just so happened my first minor league professional game, and you know where I was going to be playing is with the Jammers. So we started out there.
Did you know anything about Jamestown when you were told that you were being assigned there?
Nothing. I had no idea where it is, what state it was in, or anything, you know. And I was just so happy. I just jumped on the plane, you know, wherever they wanted to send me, I was ready to go. So.
Who was your manager?
Joe Rodriguez? No, yeah, I think it was him. J-Rod.
Where did you stay in Jamestown?
We stayed in, you know where right field is?
Right.
Yeah, we stayed right behind the fence in right field in the top part of this house.
Right.
And had no air conditioning. We didn't have any, really any room. We had 3 guys in there, and 1 bedroom, 1 little kitchen, and a little living room, and that's it.
As you reflect back on that first year, any interesting anecdotes that happened to Eric Reed? Or if you had to fill out answer the question, the funniest thing that happened to Eric Reed while he was in Jamestown was?
Wow. Man, I don't know. You know, it wasn't funny at the time, but now that I think about it, it's funny. Our first practice when we first got there, a ball was hit to the wall in left center. You know, it's kind of short right there in left center, and I got to the wall pretty quicker than I thought, and then the ball hit off the wall and hit me in my mouth and busted out my front tooth. And so that's probably the funniest thing. I mean, it wasn't funny then, like I said, but you know, we all kind of laugh about it still now. So.
When you signed up with the Marlins, did you get a sense as to where the team was going with regards to the youth movement, and that by signing up with them, they would maybe elevate your opportunity to be where you are today?
No, really. I mean, I didn't have a choice. You know, they just draft me, and you know, you go with whoever picks you. But then, you know, I knew it was kind of it was the young team, you know, and I knew Pierre was there, you know, and they liked him a lot, and they liked me, you know, and we kind of did the same thing. Right off the bat, I started bunting a lot, you know, and trying to slap the ball around, get on base, and steal bases, you know, and I didn't try to do anything else but that. And so I think they liked that, and you know, it helped me out a lot coming up. I think the Marlins liked it, and it helped move me up through the organization pretty quick.
Do you recall any of your teammates with the Jammers?
Yeah, Ron Wapinski, Kevin Randall, all those guys, they're still around. There's a few of us still around. So I think Wapinski isn't playing anymore. He went back to school. But Kevin Randall, I still talk to him. I see him in spring training, you know, and I see him every now and again. So there's a few guys.
Do you remember what kind of year you had individually at Jamestown?
Oh yeah, that's my first year. That was my first year. And I'll remember it. I'll remember a lot about it, man. I think I hit a little over 300 and got moved up like towards the end of the season to low A. So, but yeah, I remember. I had a good year there.
Today, at this level so quickly?
I'm a little surprised, but you know, I was expecting it also. I knew that if I, you know, stayed with my plan of, you know, kind of like how Juan did, you know, and I know they liked that. I knew I'd move up quick and bunt the ball and everything. And but yeah, I was a little surprised, but you know, it was also one of my goals to get here in a couple, you know, 4 or 5 years, and so I accomplished that. So I'm happy.
You were in the starting lineup opening day. Florida Marlins 2006.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. That was awesome. We started out in Houston playing the Astros, and you know, it was nice. 43,000 people there, screaming, yelling. You know, we got chill bumps during the anthem, and it was awesome, man. So.
Your first major league hit? Explain it.
We were in New York playing the Mets. I think I started the game. I was 0 for 2, I believe, and I think it was one of my last at bat. I got a base hit up the middle, and it was like a big relief off my shoulders finally, you know. And,
Who was pitching?
Julio, I don't know what his last name was. Julio Frank. I don't know. It wasn't Frank. Julio somebody. I don't know.
Did you get the ball?
Yeah, I kept the ball. I kept the ball. I have to keep the ball. I'm gonna get it framed and everything. I think a big frame. They're doing some stuff. Some of the guys on the team got their first hits. They got them in a frame with the lineup and everything with their name in it. So it's nice.
Well, congratulations. And best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Katja, how you doing? Thanks for wearing my jersey. I guess, you know, have a good one. God bless.
That's true.
Media.
Road for Bella. At what point, Josh, you're from New York. Did you have any idea where that was?
I didn't. Actually, my car was packed up to go home. Everything was ready. I was leaving in about 20 minutes, and thought I was going to Jamestown. I wasn't real happy, but you know, first year I wanted to get home, get back home, but it was good. It was good to move up a level and see how the hitters react and stuff like that.
How did they react?
It wasn't good, I guess. You know, I went 0-2, but it was a good experience to have. They're all college hitters, older hitters, you know, get more experience, so it's good to face guys like that when you're young, to learn a little bit.
Who's your manager?
It was
What year was
Steve Phillips, I think. Yeah, Steve Phillips.
First year?
Yeah.
First year?
Yes.
Where did you stay in Jamestown? The apartments there with the guys?
No, I actually stayed in the Red Roof Inn.
Oh, big time.
Yep,
Yeah.
stayed in the Red Roof Inn.
Some guys can afford that extra level there. Did you ever think that when you got drafted by the Marlins that would be a faster track to where you are today?
No, not really. You know, I just thought, you know, just progress as usual. I never thought it'd be anything different than any other organization, but worked out nicely.
You hit really well. I mean, and as a pitcher, I mean, you really hit that ball. Is at times you wonder whether you should be on the other side of this?
No. Maybe back in high school. I used to hit pretty good in high school. Now it's a little bit different. Took about 4 years off and then try and do it again. So it's a little tougher.
What was the big difference going from literally college ball to minor league baseball, the metal versus the bat itself, the wood bat?
I came out of high school, so it was you know, it's a lot different than, you know, seeing all those, like the best players in all the high school baseball are playing against each other in pro ball, so and college ball too. So it's a lot different. You know, you're facing good hitters every time out there.
Right. If you had to answer the question, the funniest thing that happened to me or the most bizarre thing that happened to me in Jamestown, New York, it would be?
I guess most bizarre was my first start in Jamestown. I gave up 13 hits and 10 ground balls. 10 ground balls. They're just finding holes everywhere. I never seen anything like it. It was crazy.
Obviously, you weren't completely frustrated because here you are today.
Yeah, wasn't too bad.
Now tell me a little bit about your track. It's pretty fast from Jamestown to here.
Yeah, it's been going real quick. You know, I went to Jamestown, then started the next year, and actually started the next year pretty slow. And extended. Started in extended, and then moved up to Greensboro after a month, and then after that, everything's just been going good. Started in high A last year, or 2 years ago, and then started in Double A last year, and then start here this year.
Well, it's got to be exciting for your family.
Yeah, really exciting. Everybody, they have watch parties every time I pitch. They go to my dad's house and everybody watches. So.
Have you called your mother for Mother's Day yet?
I haven't yet. She's probably sleeping, so let her sleep in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.